getting raped in front of their husbands and children. Minors are getting raped in front of their fathers. Children are getting tortured and killed, as you've seen in the video. What's happening in Syria is not a war between two countries. It's not a civil war. And it's not some armed political party that's trying to take control over the country by force. It's simply a dictator using whatever violent means he has to silence people's demands for freedom and to cling to power, whatever the cost may be. They want to make an example out of all those who speak up. They want to teach them a lesson. This works very well, because I guarantee you there's a huge population of Syrian people here in Dallas, and we expected a lot more people to show up. Many people will not show up because they do not want their names or their pictures or even their voices heard. They've been here in America, they've experienced freedom, they've enjoyed the liberties we have, but the fear is still up here. They cannot get rid of that fear because we've been bred to fear the Assad family and their regime. Back in 1982, when Hafiz al-Assad, the current president's father, was in power, he massacred 30,000 people in the city of Hama because they demanded freedom. They wanted freedom. They wanted democracy. That was enough reason for him to massacre 30,000 people. Stories we hear all over and over of the atrocities they've done. One of the stories tells a story of a woman whose husband just got shot. She's about 8 or 9 months pregnant. She was taken for an investigation for the crimes that her husband has taken. They cut out her belly and took the baby out and threw it in the trash while she's still alive. And they said, if he would grow up, he would oppose us. We better get rid of him now. This is the type of ugliness, and this is the type of terror that they've imposed on us to keep us down. Bashar al-Assad has been doing the same thing his father's done. He's torturing people, he's detaining people, he's just doing the same exact thing his dad did in 1982. There's only one difference. As you've seen, more and more and more people take to the street. I have news for you, Bashar al-Assad. It's not working. You're not going to silence the Syrian people's demand for freedom. All you do is fuel our revolution. He wanted dialogue. While he's orchestrating dialogue with his own cliques and those who agree with him, either out of fear or out of profit, his forces are shooting and killing people. His tanks are surrounding many cities in Syria. What type of dialogue can you have with bullets? My friends, the numbers you're seeing in Syria, the 500,000 people that went out in Hama, those are courageous people. Their courage is unmatched because they know as they leave their homes, they're facing death. It's not a peaceful demonstration. It's not a place where you go and you know you're just speaking up and going back home. Every one of those young men and women that goes on demonstration, they're saying the final goodbyes to their family because they know they may not be back. That courage is unmatched. The regime claims that armed gangs are the one killing the protesters. It's interesting how those armed gangs only appear when the demonstrations are against the regime. Whenever the regime orchestrates their own demonstrations where they force students and government workers to go on demonstrations to rally behind the dictator, not a single shot is fired. The only thing the Syrian people are armed with is their conviction and determination. Bashar al-Assad has thugs, he has an army, he has tanks, he has an armor behind him. But he knows he cannot defeat the Syrian people's will to get their freedom. And therefore he's weak. And his legacy will be one of brutality and shame. When Reem Haddad, a spokesperson on behalf of the regime, was interviewed by Sky News after the attack of the Syrian army on the city of Jisr al-Shughul, in the northern city in Syria on the Turkish border, she was asked by Sky News, why are there 10,000 Syrians fleeing to Turkey as refugees? She answered, they have relatives in Turkey and they went to visit their moms. Well, Reem Haddad and Bashar al-Assad, Talib Ibrahim, Maher al-Assad, and Walid al-Muallim, the Syrian people would like to send you on a one-way ticket to visit your moms. What's happening in Syria has nothing to do with religious or sectarian differences. What's happening is not organized by a religious figure, a sectarian leader, or some organized political party. What's happening in Syria is that the Syrian people are fed up with 55% unemployment rate. They're fed up with corruption. They're fed up with government officials becoming billionaires because they're sucking the country dry out of its wealth. They want justice. They want freedom. They want democracy. They want to live without fear. They want their country back. They want to stand side by side, Muslim, Christian, Arabs and Kurds, liberals and conservatives, stand side by side